Guess who doesn't? Everyone else. Don't be a Ted. You've got a lot to win. Give yourself a chance. Play lotto games from the South Dakota Lottery today. Good fun. Must be 18 to play. Please play responsibly.
Hi, this is Jeremy with Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills in 2020. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection, and brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
Listen to what your neighbors are saying about Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail. Here's Brian Johnson, Rapid City.
Justin was one of my first contacts when I first started coming. What I loved about him was the fact that he explained everything he did to the vehicle itself, down to the most minute point, so that I knew exactly what they had done on the vehicle. Initially, I just came for a simple oil change, but after being treated as well as I was, I came back for everything else. They did a full inspection on my daughter's vehicle. They've done brakes. They replaced the rotors, the pads, and there's a lifetime warranty on all of it, and they were less than half what other places were quoting me. Through their hard work, we've established a really good relationship, and it's nice to know that I have a place I can take all of my family's vehicles. I think the bottom line is I trust them. I can't imagine doing business with anybody else but Anytime Auto Sales.
Sales and service you can trust. Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail, corner of Highway 79 in East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are Fox Sports! And here's what you need to know.
Disgruntled Falcons receiver Julio Jones was on the phone with Shannon Sharp during FS1's Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, confirming he does indeed want out of Atlanta.
You want to go to the Cowboys, Julio? Or you want to stay in Atlanta?
Oh, man, nah, I'm out of there, man.
Ideally, where would you like to go?
Right now, I want to win.
Okay.
So Jones wants out of Atlanta. The Falcons reportedly want a first-round draft pick from any team interested in trading for Jones. NBA news, Jazz star Donovan Mitchell practiced today with the team. Jazz say he will be able to play in Wednesday's Game 2 against the Grizzlies as Utah looks to even the series. The Rays scored 7 runs in the top of the 11th inning to outlast the Blue Jays 14-8 in 11 innings. And when the Padres and Brewers face off about an hour from now in Milwaukee, San Diego will be without Manny Machado due to shoulder tightness. Brewers won't have Christian Yelich, who's sitting out to rest his back. I'm Deb Carson.
It's time for the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and local sports. Exclusively on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. And streaming online right now at foxsportsrapidcity.com. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories, welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate.
Well, good Monday afternoon to you. How was your weekend? Hope you're doing okay. Welcome in. It's always a great day in the Black Hills. We're live from our downtown studio on Fox Sports Rapid City. The Nate Brown Show back and ready, 2 hours to kick off your work week and hopefully a good Monday finish for you. Finish strong today, okay? We're going to get after it. The Nate Brown Show brought to you in part by Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center since 1976. That's the expert team, and they continue to get better and better. When it comes to orthopedic care, choose the team that takes care of the elite athlete to the weekend warrior right here in the Black Hills since 1976. Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, online at bhosc.com. Start there, learn more, and stay in the game. Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, bhosc.com. On this Monday, how about NFL insider John Clayton? He's going to drop by. We've got him. NFL insider John Clayton with the Washington Post. He'll kick off our week today. Also, we're going to get into some local stuff coming up here soon. We're going to go out to Sioux Falls and talk to Brian Henshin, Argus leader, Sioux Falls high school sports writer. He's on the way. Then into some of this national stuff. Dan Matthews is with 680 The Fan Atlanta. Of course, the wild story today is this Julio Jones thing and this, was it a planned phone call with Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed on FS1? Was it set up? Was it not? I have my thoughts on that, and I'm surprised some people are debating it. We'll get into it. He's live from Atlanta talking Julio Jones, who said on the phone to Shannon Sharpe today that he's out of there. He's out of Atlanta. He's out. Just a bizarre offseason. I mean, this whole thing is just bizarre. Started with the Deshaun Watson thing, the Aaron Rodgers stuff, now with Julio Jones. I mean, some major names, just bizarre stuff happening. Dan Matthews, 680 The Fan in Atlanta. He's on the way. We'll go down to Denver. Nuggets in action tonight. They're down 1-0 to the Trailblazers, so I want to get up to speed here. I don't think the Nuggets will make a massive run. They lost Jamal Murray. That was a big loss, but they played really well. I think they have the MVP in Jokic. Doug Ottawell live from Denver. Mile High Sports. He's on the way. Great guest as always, D. Ottawell. And Gabe Lax, Major League Baseball writer, national writer for USA Today, on tap talking some Major League Baseball. Let's throw out the number. Brought to you by the new Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar. If you haven't hit it, you got to hit it on North La Crosse. Brand new. What a facility. What a place. Same great food. And now with the full bar and sports bar, TVs everywhere. Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar, North La Crosse. The Boss Pizza and Chicken Sports Line Live. 720-1067 for you. 720-1067. Be a part of the conversation. Join the show there. And also on the Barron's Wilson text line. Direct text the show as we get started. Direct text here, 720-1067. I had a Vikings fan text, just a random one here. Just a random one. Hope springs eternal for the Vikings on the Barron's Wilson text line. Just starting on a Monday, I just got to let you know. He said, I don't know about you, but I take a look at this Vikings schedule. There's potential there to at least get to the playoffs as a wild card. I will tell you, the Vikings are relying on one player, that is Aaron Rodgers here. The Aaron Rodgers story not only affects the Vikings and other teams like the Broncos potentially, but if Aaron Rodgers exits, the Vikings are in great shape in the NFC North. I mean, great shape. So I'm with you. I've been there. I'm, people call me a Kirk Cousins apologist, but I'm there with you on the Barron's Wilson text line. So direct text the show. Even the Vikings takes, we'll take those. Okay, so this week, high school sports essentially are winding down for the most part. You got baseball regions. You got high school baseball state tournament coming up. It's Memorial Day weekend coming up, and then you have the big state track meet. Okay, so this story has some legs here, has some background to it, and it's really something I wanted to get into here and find out what is the future of state events? How should state high school events be selected? This has been an ongoing story in South Dakota high school sports, and especially it gets a little heated when we discuss basketball, the basketball state tournaments, because people say, hey, we should be careful. We should, Sioux Falls shouldn't get all the tournaments, and I'm one of those, okay? So I have some thoughts here as we get into the state track meet. The state track meet's coming up. 3 locations, by the way. 3 locations. Sturgis, Spearfish, and Rapid City. So that's how this is going to go. 3 classes split into 3 locations. Usually they would all come together, right? We'd have that combined here in Rapid City, and you'd get to see all levels. Because of how things were going, they weren't sure. They're going to keep them separate at those 3 locations. Now, there's a little bit of a story behind. There's some concerns with lodging for the state track meet. Lodging out here in the Black Hills. It is Memorial Day weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend. So I've got my thoughts here on what I think is going on with potential future state events. We'll get into that. First, let's get a call. Thanks for getting in. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. How's your weekend?
What's up, Steve? Doing good, man.
Man, I was bummed. I didn't get to see the greatest slow-pitch softball player in the world yesterday.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Other than that, hey,
That's
I got
okay.
a few things.
Oh, okay.
And they're just
Just
the
random?
first one,
Random?
Pete Maravich. How come nobody ever mentions Pete Maravich is one of the greatest?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Why?
If there was no Pete Maravich, any fancy dribbler from 1975 on would have been non-existent.
Yeah,
Pete could do it all. I watched him score 61 against Mississippi State in college.
I think people love Pete Maravich, but you're right in saying he's not listed among the greatest. I don't know where you'd put him, but he has to be in there a little bit. I would agree with that.
Yeah, he has to be top 75, top 100.
Oh, I
there.
sure would think so.
Number 2.
Okay, Pete Maravich reference on a Monday. I like it. Okay.
My boy, Tim Tebow, who I made fun of when he was with the Broncos.
Yes.
I cannot believe these guys, these sport whatever you want to call them, guys that sit in a bar like you and I would and tell old sports stories, are so down on Tim Tebow, and they're throwing in everything from Urban Meyer doesn't know what he's doing even though he's won everywhere he went. Number 2, race. Number 3, he can't catch a ball.
Well, yeah,
Number
publicity stunt, right? They're saying that too, right?
It's crazy. Who cares?
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
$1 million contract, I'd clean your bathrooms.
I agree.
Care.
I agree with you on that. Here's what else is missing, Steve. I absolutely agree with you. You've heard me talk about Tebow a couple of weeks ago. Here's what else is missing. He hasn't made the team yet, so everybody just chill.
I know.
Okay, everybody just chill.
Exactly.
I mean, he might make it, he might not. Why do we want to cut off an opportunity? That's what I don't get.
Exactly. And here's my deal, because Stephen A. threw out Cowan. What's his name? And we know I don't like him, but what I really don't like is he was 2-22 in his last 2 years in the NFL. I'm not giving him a shot.
Well,
number 4, because that's a whole nother debate. Number 4, you need different locations for the state track meet. You can't have it all in one.
Okay,
I remember, I think it was...
Okay, go ahead.
I think it was Paul Sterling's last year as the greatest athletic director we've ever seen in Rapid City.
Wow.
It ran perfect. We used Sturgis, we used Spearfish, and we used Rapid.
Yeah, and that's
between them 3 towns. There's plenty of hotel rooms.
Okay, that's where I'm at, and I really hope we continue to host this event. I'm a little worried. That's all, and I'm going to tell you why here coming up. Thanks for getting in. Appreciate it.
Hey, you bet.
Thanks,
have a
buddy.
great day.
All right. Kicking off on a Monday here on the Nate Brown Show, I'm a little concerned about an event like the state track meet moving forward in Rapid City, because I've gotten some intel here that here's an example of what's happening. There are a lot of folks that come out to the state track meet. Sturgis, Spearfish, Rapid City. Okay, that's where the AA, A, and B. That's where they're going to be this week, Friday and Saturday. There's a lot of folks that come out to it, and we've got a lot of people visiting the Black Hills as it is. Okay? So the story goes like this. Here's the story. And this is why I asked the question of the day. I'm gonna ask the audience what they think of what's most important when choosing a state event location. Here's the story. If there is not affordable hotel rooms, that's okay. If there's not affordable hotel rooms, then the folks back East River, they're getting upset about that. And there's been some teams that can't find enough rooms. There's teams that are coming here this weekend that can't find enough rooms, and so they're going to go to the dorm rooms at the School of Mines, potentially the dorm rooms at Black Hill State and Spearfish, things of that nature. Okay, so this is turning into now a debate of, okay, Rapid City, the Black Hills, such a great destination. Is it tough to host major events on the high school sports calendar like this when that may be an issue? And what I'm telling you is I think there's folks back East River. Actually, I know this. There's folks back East River in some of the leadership posts that say this might be one of those excuses. This might be one of those issues that drives an event like this out of Rapid City, out of the Black Hills, because, well, they're just looking for certain things like that don't go that smoothly. That's absolutely right. They're looking for certain things, and then where can we host the event? Where? Okay, Howard Wood, Sioux Falls, and that's the scenario. You know how I also know this? Sioux Falls is already getting the state track meet 2 out of the next 3 years. So we're already on a 2 Sioux Falls rotation, 1 Rapid City rotation, okay? We're on a 2 Sioux Falls, 1 Rapid City. And so I'm telling you, the one time in Rapid City here in 2021, and if there's some hotel availability, pricing issues, that's the scenario that's going to have. You're going to hear more discussion about this. You're just going to hear more discussion about it. And why I bring it up today is the state track meet's a great event. It's a nice shot in the arm, by the way, as a sporting event. It's one of the greatest events on the high school sports calendar, from the amount of attendance, the fans, the local economy. That's a good thing that we have the combined state track meet at the School of Mines. That's usually how it works. You have the 3 different sites, and then they combine it on the second day. It's a really great event. The state track meet's a really great event. So I ask you this question. What is really important when it comes to choosing state events? I mean, I ask you, the listeners, what should be the factor in choosing state high school events? And I give you 3 options. Is it the quality of the facility? I'm talking state track. I'm talking basketball, whatever it may be. Is it the quality of the facility? Is it the city, things to do, hotel rooms, that whole thing? Okay, is that most important? Or is it fan attendance numbers? Okay? That's what I want to know. What is the major factor there for you? What is the major factor when it comes to choosing the right location for state events? And this is moving forward now. This is state track, basketball, whatever it may be. Let's see some of the answers here. So what's the leading answer? What should matter the most in choosing South Dakota high school state event locations? What should matter the most to you? 45% say quality of the facility. 45% say quality of the facility. 38% fan attendance numbers. So that would be looking at what towns have the best attendance when they have a state basketball tournament, for example, a state wrestling tournament, for example. 38% say fan attendance numbers. You got to look at that, factor that in. Is this venue in this city getting good fan support? And 17% say the major thing that's important is the city and the things to do. 720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. I want to see where people are at. Right now, it's the quality of the facility. So here's what I want to ask now, because that's moving forward. We're going to have a brand new facility here for basketball, wrestling, the whole thing. We're going to have a brand new facility. The monument, the new arena, we're going to be in good shape there. Okay. So then we're on the even playing field with Sioux Falls. There is going to be other things looked at. That's what this state track meet situation tells me this week. And some people say, well, just be careful with having state events on Memorial Day weekend in the Black Hills. That's probably not the best thing to do. That's usually how the calendar plays out. If you followed state track over the years, it's not every year, but a lot of the years it runs into that Memorial Day weekend. And so now you're faced with this. Should the Black Hills Rapid City Sturgis Spearfish still get the state track meet, or will our local economy still just roll with the tourism and roll with that? It's a catch-22, in my opinion. I think the local high school event, having kids come out, I think you need to keep this rotated. I think you need to keep it rotated. It's a tough deal with availability, hotel prices. It's a tough deal, so people have to get that message as well. But you know what's hard? Hotels are saying, hey, here's the window. Here's when I'm running a business. I'm running a hotel. Here's what we have to do. And then that potentially has a problem there with trying to do cheaper rates, cheaper rooms for high school track teams. It's a tough go, I'm telling you, this debate moving forward. And I say it because it's going to lead into, should we just have every state track meet at Sioux Falls? That's just my guess. That is just my guess. I think this conversation is going to lead into that. We'll have the state track meet this year. Everybody will have a good time. We have great leadership out here in the schools. We do well. We've done a great job with events. Nobody can say that we don't. We've done a great job with events. I'm here to tell you, I'm concerned. I know there's some leadership back East River that would want the state track meet back there every year, not on the rotation 2-1. They want it back there every year, and this is the type of scenario they could cite. The room's too expensive, not enough availability. The Black Hills are too busy. We just can't host events like that. I hope everybody's understanding where things are at. That's where things are at. I don't make this up out of thin air. That's where things are at. I think high school events here, state events, are very, very important. I really do. I think we need to make that work. We from everybody. You got to try and make things work. It's not easy, not an easy solution. But every state tournament or every state event back in Sioux Falls, that doesn't work either. Listener text, Sioux Falls hotels sell out with every softball tournament. Rapid City is built on tourism with more rooms per capita than any large city in the state. People will travel when their kids are relevant. Sioux Falls hotels sell out with every softball tourney. Rapid City is built on tourism with more rooms per capita than any large city in the state. And here's what I'm telling you. This Black Hills region right now, I'm being told the rooms are a little dicey this week. That's what I'm being told. And this could be the perfect storm. This could be the perfect storm of Memorial Day weekend. People are COVID crazy. People are cranking. We want to go out, okay, do this whole thing. And then where does that put the hotels? Where does that put the hotels? Where does that put the high school leadership in Pierre, in other places that look at, okay, where should we do these state events? I'm telling you, it's not an easy answer. I just believe we got to find that right answer, and that is having state events rotated. Still having it Sioux Falls and Rapid City, especially the state track meet. We've done a great job with that. Listener text, West River had 3 of the nicest track venues in the state. Black Hill State School of Mines, Sturgis. I always hear from people around the state that the Sturgis venue is one of the best venues statewide. I'm with you. I'm with you on it. We do an outstanding job out here. Outstanding job. I'm telling you, there's some pushback from back East River, and there will be a little bit more. I have a feeling there will be a little bit more after this. Listener text, final one. Only one of those choices is for the student in mind, the quality of the facility. The other choices are for the parents. Some hotels in Rapid City are not filling all their rooms because they can't find enough workers to do the housekeeping. It's probably the same way in Sioux Falls. That could be. I'm not sure on that. I just know that there's some issues with teams trying to find enough rooms out here. Having to say, okay, are the rooms too expensive for us because of the Memorial Day weekend of the Black Hills? And I'm telling you, that's going to lead to a further discussion. I hope it's a quality discussion of, okay, how can we do this best? We already have 2 state track meets in Sioux Falls. We have one in one in the Black Hills. That's good. That's good. Sioux Falls may be on the doorstep of saying, yeah, maybe we should just have them all back there. Something to keep on your mind. Coming right back with John Clayton, NFL insider, Washington Post. He's live next.
You're Your sports, your show. This is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Nothing beats the...
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop. Over-the-top service and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
At O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home, we strive to meet your emotional needs with compassion, kindness, and understanding. The caring staff at O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home recognizes the importance of celebrating a life that was lived with dignity, respect, and professionalism, serving local families in their special time of need for generations. O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home, Rapid City. Phone 343-0077 or visit osimschmidt.com.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
Hi, it's Colin Coward. Great to be in the Black Hills. Getting the herd weekdays 10 to 1 on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports.
I'll tell you, state track meet this week is a big event. Good luck to everybody. An interesting story behind the scenes of lodging, availability, prices, and some discussion about are the Black Hills just too tough to host state events when it comes to high school events, especially in the spring, like right now, the Memorial Day weekend. State track on a rotation between Sioux Falls and Rapid City. Interesting to note, I've been to Sioux Falls 2 out of the last 3 weeks spending money in their hotels. Anyway, but that's me. All right. See, it's my choice. It's my choice. I go back to Sioux Falls. I liven up their economy a little bit. Don't worry so much, guys. Help us out a little bit out here. John Clayton's on tonight. Let's get it going. NFL insider, Washington Post contributor, and 104.3 The Fan in Denver. Find him on Twitter at John Clayton NFL. John, it's good to get you on. How are you?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good. So you've been in this game for a long time, John. So I want to ask you right away, what did you think of this thing with Shannon Sharpe and Julio Jones, live TV, and Julio Jones on a phone call saying, I'm out of there. I'm out of Atlanta. Just what did you think of it as a reporter?
I think it was great because, again, it was spontaneous. You didn't expect it. I think there was some confusion that Julio had because I don't think that he realized that Shannon was supposed to be there. He thought that Shannon was sick or something like that. But I think that it's great that Shannon asked, and it's great we now get the full story of what was going on with Julio Jones. And because now his agent came out after that was announced and said that he's asked to be traded. He has to be traded a month or two ago. And they've been listening to offers, but they obviously can't do anything right now because of the cap consequences. They're going to have to wait till after June 1st. They have been asking for a number 1, but that's not going to happen. It's probably going to be more of a number 3 that may be able to update to a number 2. But it looks like, as he said, he's out of there.
Okay, so, and you said spontaneous. I've never seen anything like that. This is interesting. Did you just think, you don't think that was necessarily planned or things like that?
No, sometimes, I know from doing live TV as long as I did, just things happen like that. Because, I don't know if he agreed to do the interview or how that all was arranged and all that stuff. The timing of it's interesting because, again, this is the first day of the Phase 3 of the OTAs when they were really going to test out to see if Julio is going to be there. But, no, it happens. I know it's happened on SportsCenter many times through the years. Now it's happened here with, a pretty interesting way for it to go.
Okay, so when it comes to Julio Jones, how valuable is he, John, when you think about this? How valuable is he for some teams?
I think he can be pretty valuable. Like, for example, the one that seems to, there's two teams that really make a lot of sense. One more than anything else would be the San Francisco 49ers because, he can go there and think about what Tebow Samuel and what they have at receiver, and now you add Julio Jones who worked with Kyle Shanahan. You got a big receiver that is going to do a lot of things, and, he's had pretty close to a Hall of Fame type career, so I think that could be a good fit. I could see a fit in Tennessee because in Tennessee, they've lost a couple receivers, and so they definitely need some help for Ryan Tannehill. I think he could help there, and it's not that big of a move because he goes basically from Atlanta to Nashville. That's not that bad. I can also see the Chargers looking at him too. There's a talk about New England, but I think that would be a little bit too much because when you think about New England, they've got money tied up in two receivers, including Nelson Aguilar, and along with two $12.5 million tight ends. So if they bring in Julio Jones, are they going to go more three receiver and then sit one of the tight ends, or are they going to go more two tight ends back to the day when they had Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez?
John Clayton, NFL Insider, Washington Post contributor to the Julio Jones trade speculation here with the Shannon Sharp live phone call on FS1's Undisputed this morning. Why do you think it went south there? The Falcons just in a different place than Julio Jones wants to be in?
Well, it comes down to the fact that they've got cap issues. When you look at the beginning of the offseason, the teams that were tied up mostly against the cap, number one was New Orleans, number two was Philadelphia, and then number three was Atlanta. And they still have cap issues. Right now, they're one of the few teams, if any, that haven't signed a single draft choice because they don't have enough room to. They only have about $338,000 of cap room, so that's not good. And then you also look at the fact that they took Kyle Pitts, and instead of taking an offensive lineman, and so what he's looking at is like, wait a second here. It's like, I'm being phased out, even though I'm making $15 million. It's time to get out. And Curtis Ridley has come in, done a good job at receiver. Now they've got Pitts, and so I think he figured and kind of sensed that it was going the wrong way, and now he wants the way out, and looks like at some point here in June he's probably going to get it.
Let's shift to this Tim Tebow story. I think it's been hyped a lot, John. He hasn't made the roster yet, but he's going to get an opportunity. What do you make of the reaction around Tebow trying to play tight end?
I think it's a joke. I think it's terrible. First off, it looks like a publicity stunt. It makes me look like Urban Meyer doesn't know what he's doing. I don't think it's going over well in the locker room. And what's the first thing we find out? In a 24-hour period, it sold more Tebow jerseys than anything else. But here's where I think it's so silly, is that you got a 6'3", 236-pound former quarterback, former baseball player, that's now, after 9 years of no football, is going to try to play the physical tight end. Please, it's not going to happen. I cannot see him making the team. I think it's going to go down as that the players, after watching him for a while, are going to be thinking, oh, boy, yeah, all this is Urban Meyer taking care of his former college star and his former and his current neighbor. So I think it's a disaster to my way of thinking.
Okay, let me ask you about the Aaron Rodgers situation. You're not surprised. He's reportedly not there for OTAs. Are you still saying this drags out a long time, or what do you say here as we're a couple of weeks? Well, we're a week away from that June 1st date.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to drag for some time because, again, it's like you've got to test him out and see for sure if he's going to miss training camp, if he's going to miss the start of the regular season. I can see this going into September, but I can tell you this right now is that I think he's very adamant for many, many reasons to go to the Denver Broncos. And again, remember, what's not working in the favor of the Green Bay Packers is the fact there's not a big market right now for teams trying to trade for quarterbacks because most of the moves have already been made. So what you're looking at is that, I don't know if they're going to get the full value because, again, you figure the value would be very similar to Carson Palmer back in 2011 when from the Raiders they got a number one the next year and a number two that could have gone to a number one the year after that. I don't think it's going to be that because now there's only a few teams right now that even have the cap room to be able to take on an Aaron Rodgers contract. And reason Denver seems to work out the best, one, it's a good football team. Two, I think he likes the idea, just like Peyton Manning, of being around John Elway because they can compare notes and have things go the way the quarterback wants as opposed to any way that a coach wants. So I see that happening. And also, his fiance lives in Boulder, Colorado. So there's so many things right now, but I think it's going to take a lot of time.
Okay, speaking of the Broncos, if they can't get Aaron Rodgers, John, Drew Lock's a lot of reporting today as OTAs got going. Drew Lock putting in a lot of off-season work. What do you think is the feeling around Drew Lock in the Broncos organization?
Well, I think they're thinking he's working harder and he's trying to make some progress. But I know that I wrote this today, is that here's the gap that's there in the AFC West. Okay, for example, you've got Patrick Mahomes, who, according to Pro Football Focus last week, is the number one quarterback in the league. Then you have, a quarterback, like, for example, the others in the division, they're all pretty good. I mean, right now, Justin Herbert, as a rookie, is number 15. So, I mean, he's in a good spot right now. You've got Derek Carr, the 13th best quarterback in the league. And so where's Drew Lock? 32. And you saw what happened last year. I mean, they pulled the whole offense down to a point where, I mean, they won 6 games. And so they've got a big gap to go. That's why they had to do something. Teddy Bridgewater can make them, I think, a little bit better, but they've got a lot of catching up to do. I know that the schedule is in their favor because they got the 5th easiest schedule in the league, but they need Drew Lock to step up to start to cut down the margin between the quarterbacks in this division and what's there for the Denver Broncos.
Contributor for 104.3 The Fan in Denver, also WashingtonPost.com. John Clayton, NFL Insider, on today, kicking off the week. If you had to go to Vegas, John, you put money down September 12th. Who is the Broncos starter, Rodgers, Lock, or Teddy?
If I was putting money down, I'd say it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater. And then as the season goes, at some point, Rodgers. Because think about, can you imagine, when you look at that list that Pro Football Focus did that last week, I think, 10 out of the 14 quarterbacks that were in the top ratings of the 14, they all made the playoffs, okay? And, of course, you go and if you get a deal with Rodgers, you're getting the 3rd best quarterback in the league, and all of a sudden you can stop talking about going for a wild card. You can start talking about going for a Super Bowl. That's how much it would increase the value of that team as far as how good it is.
John Clayton on today. Follow him on Twitter at John Clayton NFL. You'll find him there. John, enjoy your day. I appreciate your time.
Okay, have fun in Sioux Falls.
All right, thank you. John Clayton on tonight on Fox Sports Rapid City. Good to get him. NFL Insider, one of the best, our favorite. WashingtonPost.com, 104.3 The Fan in Denver contributor. I already told you I've been having too much fun at Sioux Falls. I've been spending money at Sioux Falls. Then I hear this week that we have some potential issues with Sioux Falls and I say East River folks coming out to the Black Hills and having some issues at some state events. So that's my question of the day. We'll revisit that. A little shout out for Sioux Falls from John Clayton. I never thought I'd see that. On this Julio Jones scenario, what do you guys think of that? I always like getting the pulse of the audience here. The Julio Jones situation, if you missed it, okay, Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless, Undisputed on FS1. I like the show. It's better than constant yelling. They just yell every now and then. Instead of constant yelling, they actually kind of make some points. But this was the big deal. Shannon Sharp called Julio Jones live on the air, and they had a little discussion there, and I ask you what you think of it, because Julio Jones says, man, I'm out of there, meaning I'm gone from Atlanta. I don't want to go to Dallas, per se. I want to go somewhere where I can win. That's what he said on the phone. And then Shannon said, hey, thanks, man. We'll call you. Call you later. Boom, done. You think that was spontaneous? I do this radio show every day. There are a lot of spontaneous things that happen. We don't script anything. We plan everything, don't script anything. And so I'm trying to look at it from the media standpoint. Here's TVK, Shannon Sharp. That I wouldn't think Shannon would have done that without letting Julio Jones know that. That's where I come at it from. Some people are debating today whether that was really spontaneous. I don't buy that today. Now, it's not like it's one of those things that was a stunner per se, but just the way it was done, that's what shocked people this morning. Live TV, got out his cell phone, called him, they did the whole thing. I don't know if Skip Bayless knew how it was going to go down totally, but I do believe Shannon Sharpe had some discussion there with Julio Jones. I sure would think that would be the case. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm way off. Maybe it was just so spontaneous and things like that happened. I don't buy that one. You can let me know. That's where I lean toward, okay, that's how I just told you. We plan everything. We don't script anything. And I think that was planned. It wasn't scripted. That's what I think happened with Shannon Sharpe, Julio Jones this morning. Quick timeout. Gabe Lax joins us next, Major League Baseball writer. Is this team ready to make trades? What? It's May 24th. May 24th. I'm serious. Is this team ready to make trades in Major League Baseball? We'll discuss it with Gabe Lax next.
You're listening to the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. The Nate Brown Show on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
We have all learned lately that our homes are our sanctuaries. And at Renewal by Andersen, many people invest in our windows to keep out the bitter cold. But they're often thrilled when it's blazing hot outside, and their Renewal by Andersen windows are keeping their homes so cool, with much lower utility bills. Renewal by Andersen windows make life at home so much more comfortable, whether it's 10 degrees below zero or 100. We can't control outside, but we sure can inside. Invest in your home now with Renewal by Andersen. You'll be glad you did.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well maintained tire and speed shop, over the top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
To economize your budget, Pro Auto Care can help you get more time and mileage out of your vehicle with regular maintenance and sensible, affordable repairs. Tom and his Pro Auto Care team will save you a lot of money without you having to replace your current vehicle. At Pro Auto Care, they find and repair small, inexpensive issues before they become big, expensive problems. Schedule an inspection of your vehicle now at Pro Auto Care. Open for business as usual at 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying your first home or maybe upgrading to a home that you will really love? Real estate is an important investment that you want to get right. I have been in the business of finding the right home for 15 years. To get started, contact me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044. Let's open the door to your new home and say hello to a goodbye with me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we love the unique ways other countries compliment their chefs. In France, they say magnifique. In Italy, delizioso. And in many parts of the world, it's a compliment to belch. Don't try that at home, kids. But at Pizza Ranch, we keep hearing the same thing over and over again when guests bite into our pizza. Our famous chicken. And all the favorites on our buffet. We're beginning to think you're all trying to tell us something. We'll take that as a compliment. Pizza Ranch.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Well, we're off and running on a Monday, huh? The Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, live on Fox Sports Rapid City, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, and also there on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. You can watch the show live Welcome in studio. How you doing? It's a casual dress Monday here on the program today. We didn't wear any Fox Sports apparel. We just got some new Fox Sports apparel. I got to break that out. We'll break that out. It's a casual dress Monday, just getting the week started the right way, okay? Relaxed, right? Just relax, right? Okay, check us out on YouTube. You can watch the show there, The Nate Brown Show. You can subscribe, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Watch on your phone, computer, tablet. You're all good to go. Major League Baseball writer, USA Today. I'm telling you, I go here every day, usatoday.com. Great Major League Baseball team. Bob Nightingale, Gabe Lax, and the crew. It's Gabe Lax live on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Gabe, how are you?
I'm doing well, Nate. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I want to talk some Major League Baseball. Let me jump into this team right now. And it may be a little early, but people are throwing it around. It's May 24th. The Minnesota Twins are underachieving like you wouldn't believe. And people are throwing around, well, you got to think about trading Barrios. You got to think about trading Nelson Cruz. Are they thinking about that, or do they need to start thinking about it?
You know, nothing more annoys me than what I might call the trade industrial complex within baseball and kind of baseball media. Like, you know, the games basically don't exist in this realm, and it's just who's a winner, who's a loser, who's buying, who's selling. I mean, you know, you'd think that maybe you'd wait for the summer for that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's a legitimate question to ask. But, you know, at the same time, the Twins don't have to do anything. You know, they don't have to trade Barrios. They don't have to, you know. I mean, now, look, things do not look good for this year. Don't get me wrong. At the same time, it doesn't mean that, you know, they can't retrench. And can't look at 2022 as a year that, you know, things might go better for them. They're 0-8, I think, with this ridiculous extra inning rule. That will not exist next year. You can rebuild bullpens on the fly within a season and certainly over an off season. So, yeah, I think it's just a little bit overwrought, you know, which isn't to say that it couldn't happen, that you know, sure, if you're going to trade Barrios, you know, that the time is probably now, but you also don't have to.
Okay.
And it's just, yeah.
Let me.
So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with all that, more or less.
And I want to ask you, because you kind of, I think you're leading into, hey, teams kind of bail. Do they bail too quickly on an organizational structure of, hey, you just said the Twins might be able to compete next year, so why blow the whole thing up? But I've been looking at Minnesota reporters. I have Minnesota writers on this show. They're not so sure. They might blow it up a little bit.
Right, and you know that's a totally legitimate tack to take as well. But I don't think there's necessarily an overriding reason to. I mean, it's you know, again, this is a team whose track record has been pretty good. You know, obviously a lot of good organizational minds in there. It's, you know, I just don't think there's any rash, you know, any reason to necessarily be too rash. And you talk about resetting the clock. Okay, what you know, what does that do for you? Where does that put you on the win curve? And again, I think there's just so many diminishing returns these days with working the trade market, because, you know, everybody's trying to do the same thing that you're doing. They want to shave a little bit on the margins. They want to dump salary. They want to, you know, invest in the great hope that is prospects, who are almost always, to some degree, a little bit overhyped. And anybody that could make a difference is going to be untouchable. You know, people hoard prospects. So, you know, if you think you're going to take a Josh Donaldson, you're going to take, you know, even a Sano, and even Barrios, who just has a couple years before free agency, and redo your franchise, that doesn't happen anymore. It's you can try, certainly, but it's, you know, it's just the kind of thing where people maybe get a little too excited over, you know, the fact that this is going to be some sort of a cure-all for what's been a pretty rotten season. So, you know, if they do go that route, I wouldn't call them stupid or impetuous, but I also think, you know, that there's certainly a ceiling on the upside of doing that. And so,
and by the way, the fans, right? I mean, I asked you this. I'm thinking as Minnesota Twins fans, Twins are 9.5 games back right now. The White Sox, okay, 9.5 back. It's going to be a tough road. There's no doubt. But Think about this. Full summer of baseball, crowds just coming back, and we're going to let go of Nelson Cruz or Barrios or whoever. I don't think the fans like that.
Right, and it is a business. It's not just fantasy baseball, or it's not a keeper league. It's the fans haven't been able. We're talking about an entire 2020 season where they were one of the best teams in the AL, and they didn't even get a chance to look at them. Now you're finally easing into allowing fans back in the ballpark, and I think there'll be full tilt in early July, if I'm not mistaken. So, you have to offer them a little something, I would think. It's a good point you raise. It's not just it's not just a ball club. It's not just getting a little bit of value out of out of the trade market. It's you want to offer something to your customers. So whichever route is best for that, we'll see. But again, it's I think there's just always kind of a this race in the baseball media and among hardcore fans to say, I was the first one to say the Twins should blow it up.
Yeah, right. And I don't think that's always a great option. It's interesting. It's being thrown around. I think it's a little early. Gabe Laxon tonight, Major League Baseball writer, USA Today, with the Twins. One more, 17-28 or 17-29. What gets the blame here? And I know you haven't covered them game in, game out, but I look at it. Rocco Baldelli was the manager of the year. You can't tell me he's all of a sudden, he makes this wrong decision, that wrong decision. They've had a terrible bullpen. Their offense was slow to get going at all. I'm just kind of stunned by how the Twins are playing in not a great division.
And I think it ultimately, they've been able to, in past years, get away with not investing a ton in starting pitching. And a lot of it was that creative use of the staff, and you had your various openers and and your various Lewis Thorpes of the world and all that kind of stuff, who were able to kind of help them cobble together an effective pitching staff without much of a bedrock. And obviously Kenta Maeda isn't who he was last year, but to me you look at Happ, Shoemaker, and Pineda being hurt again. The poor performance and injury from starting pitching. Regardless of how many ways you can skin the cat these days, if you're not getting anything from a majority of your starting rotation on paper going into a season, you're going to struggle. And to me, it's pretty simple. And then everybody's getting injured, so that kind of that's not necessarily unique to them. But again, it's really unfortunate that Buxton is out, because this really was looking like his year. But I call me old school, but I still think that starting pitching is such a bedrock of a club, and if that's not there, and if it doesn't go the way that you planned it, you're going to be significantly behind the eight ball already.
Okay, so let me ask you about some rules here. You just mentioned that runner on second, extra innings. That's going to be gone? We're done with that?
I would think so. I would.
Enough people hate it?
I think it really distorts the game. It puts a really weird onus on a pitcher coming into the game. It really messes up the statistics too, to a large degree. I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays get shut out from the second through the ninth inning today against Toronto, and then suddenly extra innings comes and they're the 27 Yankees, and I don't think it's because of any great offensive prowess, but I think it really just affects the mindset of a relief pitcher to start an inning having to choke off a run immediately. It's just not healthy, and it leads to weird outcomes, and not necessarily just outcomes with the way we're accustomed to watching baseball. So I think enough people within the game will dislike it, and ultimately I think you're going to look at the numbers and realize that it didn't cut down on the time of game that much, which, again, Rob Manfred, it seems the more he throws at pace of play, the more games, elongate right in front of him. So, I can't imagine that being accepted going forward. Heck, I'd wish they'd revisit it mid-season and say, let's get rid of this now. But I would imagine 2022, that'll be gone the way of the dodo bird.
I've had baseball guys on, Gabe, and here's the tough question for everybody. Strikeouts high, average really low, home runs are down. We hit too many before. Now we're not hitting as many. Offense is down at batting average, almost a historical low. Strikeouts really up there. That's the issue for me. The baseball play itself. How do we get that fixed?
Yeah, I think there's two issues. One is hitters' approach and how we value them and what we pay them to do. The lost art of hitting as a tool is really something that needs to be reexamined. Joe Madden said it well earlier this year. He says, they do what we value them for, so what you get paid for. And right now, we're at a moment in time where getting on base and hitting home runs is what gets you paid, which is a good way to do business, but it's also the way pitching is now is not conducive to aesthetically pleasing baseball or even winning baseball in a lot of cases. To me, there's two crises here. One is the hitting thing, the approach, the inability to adjust and maybe split the difference and accept a 300 batting average that doesn't come with a with a gaudy slugging percentage. And then on the other end, I think there's still a massive pitching shortage. The way we develop pitchers, the way we keep them healthy, the way we groom them to be starting pitchers in the major leagues, so few of them, so that we can be in this offensively starved era, yet still come to the end of a week and a team has used all of its 97-mile-an-hour 1- and 2-inning guys to the point that the staff is burned out and they give up 19 runs and you end up with a position player pitching. So it's it's just to me, those two crises and shortages and everything else just adds up to really, really bad product, as they like to say, and really just a game where things just don't add up right now.
Time to move the mound? No?
I don't think so. I mean, I think you need to give the game a little bit of a chance to regulate itself, and in that standpoint, maybe it's giving the offensive minds of the game a chance to readjust. Maybe some of these guru hitting coaches might be seen someday as a little bit of a fad, as opposed to like this inextricable revolution. Maybe things will circle back a bit. I think the more rules you create, the more changes you make, the more unintended consequences you might create. So it's not the kind of thing I would rule out of hand, but also, I think even if you take a half season of data from the independent leagues, I don't think it will be able to tell you that this is the answer. As we know, if you change a rule, it can always make things worse. So not to live in fear of that, but it certainly can happen.
We've been seeing some of that anyway. I mean, we thought, okay, too many home runs. Now not enough home runs, but not enough offense either. And they've been trying to tweak the ball and this and that. Gabe Lack's on, Major League Baseball writer. Good discussion, usatoday.com for the best coverage. Gabe, enjoy the week, man. Thanks for coming on.
You got it, Nate. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Gabe Lack's one of our favorite Major League Baseball writers, usatoday.com, here on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Good discussion. Interesting. You said, hey, let's just chill with the Twins here a little bit. Just chill. And that's a good message for a Monday. For a team that's just struggling. Can they come out of it? 9.5 games back. A ton of season left. It's going to be a tough slog now. The White Sox are pretty good, I think. I think they're pretty good. It seems that way. You got to get through a lot. But 9.5 back, and then some people, well, you got to think about trading. You got to think about doing this. It'll be interesting. The next month or so will be interesting to watch for the Twins. If they can get back in it at all, or if they continue this major struggle. And then you have to, well, what are we going to do with some of these contracts, some of these players? Coming right back with Doug Ottewill, live from Denver. We want to talk some Broncos. These two guys just met each other for the first time today. Two of the biggest names in Broncos country met each other for the first time today. How did it go at practice today? We'll talk Doug Ottewill, Broncos, and some Nuggets tonight as well. They're in action. They need a win. They're down 1-0 to the Blazers. Doug Ottewill, Mile High Sports on the way.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, streaming live at foxsportsrapidcity.com and right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair is your local hail damage repair specialist with over 20 years of experience restoring cars to their pre-hail condition. Don't lose 30% of your resale value by having a body shop repaint it. Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair offers better resale value, has quick turnaround, and includes a lifetime guarantee on their work. The guys at Rapid City Paintless Dent Repair are trusted locals with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, offering free estimates and are conveniently located downtown. Remember them when it hails.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows level off around 49 tonight under mainly clear skies, west winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies again tomorrow, highs around 71. Mainly clear skies and quiet tomorrow night, lows level off around 46. Chance for scattered storms Wednesday, chance for scattered rain showers on Thursday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 71.
Hey, parents of local athletes, we all know you gotta put in the work to get better, and Physio is ready to help your athlete improve their strength, conditioning, and athletic ability. Physio's summer strength and conditioning program starts June 7th, and this year they're kicking it off with the first ever Black Hills Athlete Performance Combine, testing to find out where you're at and where you can improve. Open to area athletes grades 6 through 12. Register for the Combine and Physio's strength and conditioning summer program right now at bhphysio.com.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
For nearly 100 years, Connects has been providing the know-how and materials to help their neighbors grow. Through partnerships with builders, homeowners, and contractors, Connect Home Centers have impacted our communities, making them stronger and safer through support of local organizations and neighborhood beautification projects. Improving the quality of life for others is important to us. We are Connect Home Center, your hometown lumberyard lending a helping hand in building our communities since 1928.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Oh, glad to have you on board. Always appreciate you being a part of the program and a part of the conversation, however much time you spend with us each weekday. We appreciate that. If you can't catch all of the show, the podcast is available. You can catch interviews, guests across the board. We upload it every night. The Nate Brown Show podcast, always available for you at your own convenience. Listen when you can, and you'll find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're all over the place. Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. The Nate Brown Show podcast out there for you, and listen when you can. Thanks for being here live on Fox Sports Rapid City, 4 to 6 weekdays. Just getting the week started. Interesting story locally. We're going to get into that next hour with Brian Henchen, Sioux Falls Argus leader. We're going to talk state track meet and kind of the story behind that state event, getting some people's attention. We'll get into that and the question of the day on state events in South Dakota high school sports. What should be most important when you're choosing a location? What should be most important is the question of the day. We'll get back to that poll question. A lot of answers coming in. Here's Doug Ottewell live from Denver. How about the sports scene in Denver? The Avalanche, I'll tell you, the Avs, look at that. Look at the Avalanche. They could go on a run here. They could go on a run. Nuggets, not so sure, down 1-0. The Game 2 tonight. Doug's going to be there covering Game 2 tonight. And then the Broncos, are they third on the list? I don't know. I don't know about that. Doug Ottewell, milehighsports.com, live from Denver. Doug, how are you?
I'm good. You know, you're right. I don't know that the Broncos are third on the list. I think they're fourth because the Rockies just had a sweep.
Oh, careful. I know you're a Rockies homer, okay? Okay, careful. Let me ask you, I want to get to the Broncos really quick. Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater met each other in person for the first time today. Okay? So we got a quarterback competition. If Aaron Rodgers is kind of out there and we don't know what's going to happen, this Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater, how does this play out? What are you taking stock in here when I see the reporting today? Peyton Manning worked with Drew Lock, all of this off-season work. Can Drew make the steps to be a great player? That's a great player, Doug. I still don't think so, but I don't know all the work he's done. He seems like he's doing all the right things.
You know, to me, this is a case of, is Drew Lock talented enough, and are they really going to give him the opportunity? And I don't know those questions until week one. The stuff about coming in and working and sounding today in the press conference like he was more of a veteran, more of a grizzled quarterback, more of a guy that is mature and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't want to be cynical, but this is what we've heard about pretty much every Broncos quarterback that's come in since Peyton Manning. Every guy they've brought in, with the exception of maybe Paxton Lynch, was maybe the only one they ever questioned and said he just didn't come in and do that much, was this guy's a pro, he comes in, he stays late, he does this, he does that. I mean, I hate to say it, but this is a May narrative. This is what we talk about in May and June before there's live bullets. And, I don't doubt for a second that Drew Lock did all the work. I don't doubt for a second that he worked with Peyton Manning, but I'm with you. Like, talk has become so cheap here that I need to see it on the field. And I'm not saying that he can't be. I don't love the fact that there's a quarterback competition because I'd just as soon see them give Drew Lock every snap they can because we know what we have with Teddy Bridgewater. I think he's a pro backup, but we don't know if Drew Lock can be, as you asked, a great player or if he's going to fall in that Bridgewater mold of a guy who could, hold the clipboard and come in and play 3 or 4 games for a team in the season if their starter gets hurt. We don't know that, and I just soon find out.
Here's the thing about Drew I don't love. He's pretty spicy today. I was watching some answers along the lines of, I'm not worried about all this, and I'll just go see what everybody writes that's wrong about me after this. Little spicy. It seems like he's got an edge there with how he's being treated, I guess. It looked a little spicy.
Yeah, I mean, that can be good and bad. I mean, if I'm Drew Lock and I'm hearing all these rumors about Aaron Rodgers and, every other radio show or column or whatever talking about how he can't do it or he's not the guy or whatever, I take all that and I read it and I soak it in and I aim to prove every person wrong.
But I don't say anything about it. That's my issue. Like right now, I haven't played well enough to not be spicy or, to be spicy. I haven't played well enough to be spicy. So people questioning Doug. So that's where I say, hold it in, be a pro's pro, compete, and then you can be spicy. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think if I'm saying my desired answer from Drew Lock today, because he was asked about Aaron Rodgers, my answer would have been, you know what? If I'm George Payton and I get a call about Aaron Rodgers, I take that call. Aaron Rodgers is an MVP, future Hall of Famer. I'm not Aaron Rodgers yet. That's who I aim to be, but I'm not him yet. That, to me, says a little bit more maturity than the guy that seems kind of bordering on pouting, like you're saying. And I would rather have heard him say that than kind of the, we'll see, I'll file this away stuff. You absolutely have to file it away as an athlete, but to kind of act like it bothers you or act like you're irritated by it, I think that's where, I'm not quite ready to say, oh, he's a mature leader yet. I'll wait and see in September.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it is. I think that's a fair point. Is he a mature leader? I'm not sure. I think the jury's out. Doug Ottewell, Mile High Sports, live from Denver. You're going to Game 2 tonight. Nuggets are down 1-0. This Portland team just seems like a problem. I'm rooting the Nuggets on. I'm like, yeah, they should be able to. They can win this series. Damian Lillard's just a killer. Are the Nuggets in trouble here? Do you just have a feeling?
Oh, I think they're in trouble, but, it is only one game. The intriguing thing about this series is that, the Blazers' strength is currently the Nuggets' weakness. I mean, the Nuggets are very depleted in guard. There's no way around it. That's not an excuse. It's just a reality. And the Blazers are maybe the best backcourt in the NBA. I mean, between Lillard and McCollum, I mean, they got two guys that can put up 30 on any given night without even really breaking a sweat. And I think that presents a problem, but it also presents an opportunity because the Nuggets are clearly a better team in the front court. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the game. I mean, he's going to be the MVP. So you have the MVP in the front court against a team that doesn't really have an answer to stop him. I mean, Jokic had 34 points, whatever it was the other night. I mean, you got to take advantage of your advantage, too. So in a weird kind of way, I think this game is in Michael Malone's court. Michael Malone has to be the guy to figure out how to take advantage of the Nuggets' advantage and how to minimize Portland's advantage.
I think Nuggets are good. I really do. The Jamal Murray killer injury, I get that, but they've played really well, and it's been the Jokic show. Man, this Blazers team, they play really well at the right times. Game 2 tonight. So I don't like saying the must win, but I think it is. Feels like it.
Yeah, I think it's a must-win. If they're down 0-2, they can't rely on this, we did 1-3 last year back-to-back, and, we can just do that because we're the Nuggets. No, I don't think you can live on that edge. I mean, and not only can you not, but you don't have the guy who is primarily responsible from coming back 1-3 in Jamal Murray. So I think it's take care of business. And it sounds overly simple, but I think you got to be a little bit more physical with Portland. I mean, they got too many open looks on the perimeters. Their high pick game worked too well. I mean, I don't want to sound or play dirty, but the first time Jokic comes out to give a high pick, he's getting an elbow in the hip. I mean, that's just you have to send the message that you're not going to get manhandled on the perimeter so McCollum and Lillard can shoot all game, or you've got to come up with some kind of a hedge that's effective. And the Nuggets' bigs aren't necessarily extremely athletic, so they tried to fight over the screens all game last game, and I would imagine they'll probably still try to do that, but I think they've got to do a better job. They've got to do a better job of making, Lillard and McCollum feel them, so to speak. I think they just got too many open looks last time.
I'm telling you, I've been watching this. You have the pick and roll, the pick and pop, the high ball screen has been a killer for the Nuggets to guard. Not just this year, but like all the time. It's been a killer. We'll see how it goes. Game 2 tonight in Denver. Doug Ottewell will be there. Mile High Sports. Last one, Avalanche. Stanley Cup on the mind. I mean, this feels like everybody down there thinks they can make a run.
I was talking to a friend of mine today, and both of us have been here the entire time. We saw, when the Avs came in and won their first cup in their first season in Colorado, and then did it a couple years and later in 2001. And they had some great teams. I mean, those teams in the late 90s, early 2000s were absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen a dominant performance out of that franchise like I have just now. The Blues led the entire series for 7 minutes. 7 minutes in a 4-game sweep. I mean, it was never a contest. The Avalanche just have so much firepower, and if they can get the kind of goaltending that they've been getting, I think that I wouldn't ever say a shoe-in because the Stanley Cup is a gauntlet, so anything can happen. But if they keep playing like this and they get good goaltending, there's no reason they can't win the Stanley Cup. I mean, they're very, very good. The talent on that team is unbelievable. Just, McKinnon and McCarr alone, it's unbelievable. You throw in Rantanen and Landeskog. I mean, there's just star power, much like the teams in the late 90s. I mean, the Sakic, Forsberg, Foote, all
right,
those guys.
Right.
I mean, wow, those teams were loaded, and this one has a very similar feel to it, just talent on talent on talent.
I was wondering about that. People remember Sakic, Forsberg. They remember that team, raw. And you say it may feel like that. We shall see. Avalanche 4-game sweep over the Blues. That's not a bad start. Doug Ottewell's in Denver, popping with sports. Broncos first day of OTAs. Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater met each other for the first time, and the quarterback competition started today. We shall see if another name is thrown into that mix. It wouldn't be a competition if he is. Doug, good stuff, man. Enjoy the game tonight. I hope the Nuggets pull it out. I appreciate it.
All right, take care, Nate.
Appreciate it. Doug Ottawa live tonight from Denver, MileHighSports.com, covering Game 2 of the Blazers-Nuggets. That pick and roll is hard for the Nuggets to guard. It's been hard. If you watch any basketball at all, any Nuggets games at all, it is just tough. Nikola Jokic is a great player. He's liability defensively and stuff like that. He really is. But you got to figure that out some way, somehow. Some way, somehow, as head coach Michael Malone. I mean, he had a big problem last year. And they got another problem when you play these really good guards. Really good guards. All right. We got to take a quick timeout. We're coming back to Dan Matthews live from Atlanta. We got Dan Matthews on the way. We got to get to him. Plus, Brian Henson on the way. Sioux Falls Argus leader, talking about the question of the day. What's most important when choosing state high school locations for state high school events? What's most important? And by the way, this is what I'm going to tell you on this Monday, okay? Up next, there needs to be a national high school mandate rule change. You hate this, right? You hate, and we do. We don't like national mandates of any kind, really. But I finally have to say, the High School Association hasn't made the call, and I think they should. I really do. I got to say, they should make every state do this when it comes to high school sports. The rule that I want to see, you can tell me if I'm wrong next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Nate Brown Show and like us on Facebook by searching Fox Sports Rapid City.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
Hey, it's Nate Brown. I got to tell you about Pour 54 in downtown Rapid City. If you haven't been there yet, make plans now. You will not be disappointed. I'm telling you, Pour 54 has 3 levels, plenty of space, 54 taps of craft beer, wine, hard seltzer, and hard cider. At Pour 54, you are your own bartender. No more waiting on drinks. You just grab a glass, make your choice, pour from the tap. Oh yeah, the food, out of this world. Get your night started with their pretzel board and then order up one of the awesome Pour 54 Detroit-style pan pizzas. They're unbelievable. If it's date night, after work happy hour, or just watching the big game, Pour 54 is the best place to go. And I know you'll absolutely love it like I do. There's simply no place like it in Rapid City or this region. Pour 54 opens at 3 p.m., located downtown Rapid City at 615 Main Street. You want to experience Pour 54.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Hey, Rapid City, it's Doug Gottlieb. Join me weekdays from 1 to 4 right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports, Rapid City. And now let's get you back to the Nate Brown Show, Rapid City's sports talk show.
Welcome back in. We're in the Drive at 5 on a Monday. The Nate Brown Show packed tonight, just packed. Coming up, we'll go to Dan Matthews. He's with 680 The Fan in Atlanta. What's the real story with Julio Jones and the Atlanta Falcons? If you missed this morning, Shannon Sharp on Undisputed on FS1 called Julio Jones on the cell phone live and asked him where he wants to play, and Julio said, I'm out of Atlanta, man. I'm out of there. So now you got another intriguing story and a big name entered this offseason. Deshaun Watson mess, Aaron Rodgers, and now Julio Jones saying, I'm out of Atlanta, man. I'm out of there. Was it spontaneous? I don't know about that one, but Shannon Sharp broke that news live on Undisputed. We'll talk to Dan Matthews' reaction in Atlanta. Where are the Falcons going? Brian Henson coming up, Argus leader, high school sports writer. Live from Sioux Falls. That's straight ahead. Speaking of high school sports, I got to jump on this. I don't love one size fits all usually. I like having decisions made by local municipalities, okay, states. You know, we get to vote on our own stuff, right? When you get into the world of politics. So here's the sports side of this one size fits all approach is good. I rarely do this. But the National Association of the National High School Associations, okay, Federation of High School Associations, has said, we're not going to have every state do this, but we kind of want every state to do it. Leave it to a bureaucratic system to say, yeah, we're not going to really make you do this because we don't know if we can, but we really want you to do this. And when it comes to high school sports, it's what? Shot clock for high school basketball. So that decision was just made. National Federation of High School Associations say each state should really go down this road, and we're allowing that now because before there was kind of, not a lot of states were doing it. They weren't so sure how it was playing out. Now they're saying, hey, there's a boatload of states that do the high school shot clock in basketball, and the National Federation of High School Association said, we're not going to pass a rule to tell you have to. And I finally just said, hey, there comes a time where even a bureaucratic system has to say, yeah, this is the right call, I think, right? And if you disagree, let me know. The only thing I have to say is it's consistency is all I'm looking at. Consistency in the rules of sports, meaning you're going to have a shot clock as you move forward, those players that go to college, okay? And the shot clock in high school is what? It just allows for better play. It allows for better decisions. That's what it allows for. It's really, it helps the game of basketball, in my opinion. The shot clock that we implemented in South Dakota, I believe that's helped the game of basketball. The flow of basketball, the time of possession, okay? There's no more stall ball, we're just going to do this, and we're going to win 20-17. That's one of those things that people say, well, it's about strategy, it's about this, it's about that. I finally say, I look at consistency in sports. We don't have all these different things going on in some of these sports. We have consistency. Every level of basketball, when it comes to college, and then it goes to pro, I mean, we're not all going to be pro players. We're not all going to be college players, but I think you have to start realizing there is consistency rules in sports that need to be implemented. Why are a ton of states doing a shot clock? And then you still have some states, by the way, like my home state of Montana. Montana is one of the last holdouts here. No shot clock. No shot clock. Ultimately, would it be okay with you if the National Federation of High School Associations said, hey, there's only a few states left. Let's just implement the shot clock to be consistent with all levels of basketball. I think as a high school varsity player, as you get into high school and you're playing that, you want to be good, better, improve. This is the way to do it, not, well, we're going to figure out how to stall ball, we're going to figure out how to do this. That doesn't seem like you're playing consistent basketball as they do along the way. So for once in my life, and it's not very often, for once I'm going to say, National Federation of High School Associations today saying, no, we just can't do it. For once, I will say, you could have done that one. I think most people would have went with you. I think most people would have went with you if you say, hey, shot clock just works. The shot clock, even in high school basketball, works. Only issue I'll say, some of the cost factors. Some of the cost factors. Because that's what our small schools say here in South Dakota is, hey, you say we got to do the shot clock. Are you going to help us out getting the equipment, getting another shot clock operator? That's the things you need to work on behind the scenes. That's the behind the scenes stuff. Those are real factors, and that's where some of the smaller schools across South Dakota, and you may say in this region, might say, hey, that's the major issue. That's the major issue. But I think most people would say it's time to get there. It's time to get there. National Federation of High School Associations today saying, we want to get there. We're going to allow states to get there, but we're not going to make you get there. And then I think this just continues to drag on, and then people continue to talk about excuses of why not to, instead of, well, now that we have it implemented, now everybody is on the same playing field. Now everybody's on the same playing field. Then get it figured out with the details of the cost, the operator, the whole thing. We had to do that here in South Dakota when we first put it in. Some pretty small schools had to say, hey, we got to get this figured out. It makes the game better. It makes it more consistent across all levels. National Federation of High School Associations can't quite get there. Not quite. They want to. They can't. Dan Matthews up next. 680 The Fan in Atlanta. The story of Julio Jones. How surprised was he and Atlanta Falcons fans? Was this Shannon Sharpe Julio Jones phone call live this morning? Was it a setup? What's your take? We'll discuss it with Dan Matthews. 680 The Fan in Atlanta next.
The Nate Brown Show.
We have all learned lately that our homes are our sanctuaries. And at Renewal by Andersen, many people invest in our windows to keep out the bitter cold. But they're often thrilled when it's blazing hot outside, and their Renewal by Andersen windows are keeping their homes so cool with much lower utility bills. Renewal by Andersen windows make life at home so much more comfortable, whether it's 10 degrees below zero or 100. We can't control outside, but we sure can inside. Invest in your home now with Renewal by Andersen. You'll be glad you did.
Community Bank wants you to know that now may be the best time to refinance, purchase, or even build a brand new home. With rates this low, Black Hills Community Bank is well positioned to be your local partner. They are your home loans bank with local originators underwriting, processing, and closings. They challenge themselves to close every loan on time. This may be the time to think about home ownership or refinancing with Black Hills Community Bank in Rapid City and Spearfish. Online at bhcbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Would you rather walk across hot coals or have poison ivy everywhere? Some choices are lose-lose, but it's all win-win at Taco John's. Choose 3 chicken street tacos or 3 chicken softshell tacos for just $5. Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
For even more win-wins, download the Taco John's app for exclusive deals. So technically, that's a win-win-win.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch the TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Scott Carlson right here in Rapid City, and I can switch you over and you can start saving today. Me and my team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just call me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson. Want the real deal? Like a good neighbor? State Farm is there.
Hello everyone, this is Todd Singh with Singh Contracting. I'm here to remind you it's time to get that roof done. So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today. We'll give you our own estimate, separate from insurance, so you can make sure they're taking care of you. Call today, 343-ROOF. That's 343-7663. Or visit us at singhcontracting.com. Don't delay, call today. Bye!
Hi, this is Rihanna Wickett at Elevate Performance. We are ready to launch our summer sports performance camps, and now is the time to register the athlete in your family. If you want your athlete to run faster and jump higher, join us at Elevate this summer to get that edge. Our summer sports performance camps are open to boys and girls grades 6 through 12. Elevate Performance is ready to help our local athletes improve their strength, speed, agility, and more. Register today for the Summer Sports Performance Camp. Just visit elevateperformancesd.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Your sports, your show, the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Rapid City. Thanks for being here. Just got a call listing at foxsportsrapidcity.com. Yeah, good stuff. You can bring up the live stream there, foxsportsrapidcity.com. A lot of ways you can catch us on your phone, on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show, the live video stream in studio camera here. Live video stream at Nate Brown Show. You can find us on Twitter and also on YouTube. Easy to find us out there. Somehow my daughter pulled up the show at home on her smart TV. I don't know. She found it. She only watched it for 2 minutes, but, well, you know, it's a winner. She has to listen to me too much. You know that. You can find us on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. You'll find us there. Dan Matthews on tonight from Atlanta. How about this? Atlanta's in the headlines today. I don't know what to make of it. I gave him my take on the Shannon Sharp, Julio Jones situation this morning. If you missed that on Undisputed FS1, Shannon Sharp called Julio Jones live on the cell phone, right there, live on air, and looked like it was spontaneous. It looked that way. I said this. Here was my take as I get ready to invite Dan Matthews on from 680, The Fan in Atlanta. On this show, we plan everything, but there's a lot of spontaneity, so we don't script anything. So it's not, we just don't turn things on. Oh, yeah, we're good to go. We got John Clayton. We got these guys. Oh, somehow magically. So everything's planned. What are we going to do here, segment there? But we don't script it. That's what it felt like to me. I don't think Julio Jones and Shannon Sharp had the whole thing scripted, okay? There's a difference. I do think it seemed planned. That's my take. What's the reaction? 680 The Fan Atlanta. Dan Matthews. He's on Twitter at Dan Matthews ATL. Dan, thanks for coming on. How are you tonight?
Oh, very well. Hopefully everything's going well for you up there as well.
Well, it's going good, man. And I want to say down there, you guys can't be stunned by Julio Jones. Can't be stunned by Julio Jones, but how it all played out this morning. What was your reaction on live TV?
Well, I think at first it was just kind of when I saw the initial tweet, it was like, because I didn't see it live, obviously, but it was, okay. I mean, he's not giving it up that easily because, trust me, being here in the Atlanta market for the last almost 10 years and dealing with Julio Jones, working with him on a semi-weekly basis, is he doesn't give you anything. And, you know, he's been known as a guy that shows up, does his work, and isn't going to do too much to promote himself. But, you know, here and there he would say things, and I think that this was probably one of those where it was, you know, okay, maybe this is secondhand knowledge, but then, like you, I heard the phone call, and it was like, okay, you know, I guess there's more to the story, and then we saw the insiders, Rappaport, Schefter, and everybody start throwing out that he had actually approached them about a trade a few months ago, and that this has kind of been, you know, an ongoing process, but, you know, I guess now it's kind of the confirmation of all confirmation that, yeah, he had asked for a trade. That's why another part of it as well is that the team is trying to work this out for him.
Okay, so this is this off-season carousel here. Deshaun Watson, before his mess and all the allegations, didn't want to be with the Texans, wasn't going to play. Aaron Rodgers, don't want to play for the Packers, not going to play. Julio Jones, is it that edgy with him?
I don't know if it's that edgy. I think that it's more of he realizes that his better days of playing are quickly coming to an end. His faster days and more athletic days are fewer and further between. So I think there's a little bit of that. I think he looks at this roster construct because we had the GM, Terry Fontenot, on with us a few weeks ago, and he was talking about this cap situation, saying this isn't going to just be an issue this year. This is going to be an issue for
a couple of years to come at least. So I think that he looks at that and just says, I'm going to be on a team that's going to be rebuilding and trying to find their way back to competition, and I don't know if at age 32 I want to do that. And I think also, too, as well, you've heard the cap situation talked about, where right now, Nate, they got to be able to try to figure something out. If it's not trade Julio Jones, maybe it's extend Grady Jarrett, but they've got to be able to just clear up enough cap space to just sign their draft class. That's how bad things have gotten.
Right.
So, I think that it's just kind of one of those things that can work out for both sides. It's just now trying to go to get the best thing for the organization. I think that's their number one goal. Is we've got to get what's best for us to be able to get good in the cap situation, and then also to be able to try to put as competitive a team on the field as we can right now.
Dan Matthews, 680 The Fan in Atlanta, here on the Nate Brown Show, talking Julio Jones trade speculation. He announced it live this morning that he's out of there from Atlanta. We'll see what happens. So how did they end up in this mess? People want to know, hey, the Falcons, how did they end up with these contracts that are pushing them up against the number? Is this a Matt Ryan problem, or is there more to it?
I would say that the long and short of it is Arthur Blank. I think that Arthur Blank kind of put them in this. And look, he's the owner of the team. He signs the checks. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. The criticism that I think fans have had, and some of us in the media, is I don't know if you remembered back when the extensions were coming up for Matt Ryan, the contract for Julio, and then also, too, as I mentioned, Grady Jarrett as well, as he kept throwing out, they're going to be Falcons for life. They're going to be Falcons for life. Where if you're Thomas Dimitroff at the time, you probably got to be thinking to yourself, at least privately, Arthur, what are you doing to me, man? Like, I'm trying to conduct business here, and I'm trying to do contract negotiations. When you say stuff like that, my leverage is gone. Like, I've got to basically be able to give these guys what they want, because then if nothing else, I'm the bad guy if Julio Jones is no longer here, or if Matt Ryan is no longer here, or Grady Jarrett and such. So I think that was probably part of it. I think also, too, let's just call it what it is. You've had a lot of draft picks that have just flat out missed over the last few years. And, the fact that you haven't drafted as well as they did early on in the process, 2008, when you get Matt Ryan and that crew to come through, and then, they're able to pull off the huge trade on draft night in 2011, and then that's when they had their first chance at the NFC Championship game in 2012, and then, you had a couple of years off, but then kind of a rejuvenated energy, if you will, within the organization, with still good players there and hitting on a couple of key players. Desmond Trufant, Deion Jones, and a few players like that have been able to get them back on track to make it to the Super Bowl. And I'm not going to bore everybody with the details there. We know what happened, but I think there's been some misses, and then I think there's just been some bad contracts.
Interesting. Matt Ryan's contract, is that a bad one ultimately, or did you have to do that at the time? I believe at the time it was a record, right?
Yeah, it was. And, that's the thing. I think that probably, like you said, at the time, that's what you had to do, because remember, in the NFL, it was number one, you don't win without a standout quarterback. Matt Ryan checks that box. Number two, you don't let standout quarterbacks go on the free agent market, because if you do, you're probably not going to get them back. I think, Nate, we're kind of seeing a game that, because of Matt Ryan, and I've said this on the air before, and I've made this into a topic, is that I think, if anything, the kind of sabermetrics and the analytics of baseball are now starting to infiltrate the NFL, where you're having these teams look at quarterbacks and say, look, unless you're Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, or any of these top-tier quarterbacks, we're not paying you that type of money. So the market kind of reset a little bit, I think, because that's the situation you're in. I think that Dak Prescott got the money he did in Dallas because Jerry Jones, let's just face it. I remember a buddy of mine who covers the team telling me years ago when they extended Tony Romo, he said, Jerry is deathly afraid of not being able to have a standout quarterback on his team, because he knows what life after Troy Aikman was like. It was not pretty. And I think in certain ways teams kind of followed that same line of thinking. But now, with the just how passing offenses are going now in college football, and you just saw the group of quarterbacks that just came out of this most recent draft. I think you're going to have teams that, because of Matt Ryan, like I said, are going to start saying, no, we're not doing it. We're not giving you this huge deal. This is what we're going to give you, and if you don't like it, go on the free agent market. You can test out and see what works there.
Dan Matthews, one more. I'll let him run. 680 The Fan in Atlanta. Julio Jones might be on his way out. Now Kyle Pitts is on his way in. Such a big name in the draft. Really great prospect here. So I see this. If Julio Jones leaves, then Kyle Pitts steps in, everybody in Atlanta or the Falcon fan base is going to say, this is the guy now. Julio Jones was good, but Kyle Pitts is going to be great. I wonder if that's a problem for Kyle Pitts, potentially trying to meet that expectation.
Well, he was drafted to be that guy. There's no doubt about it. And, it's the whole his inline blocking and all that as a tight end. And then you have the people, me included, who says, why does it matter? Because you haven't run the football for the last few years with any real efficiency. The way that this team looks like right now, I don't think that they're necessarily going to be focused mostly on that. I think that he's going to be a mismatch and be problems for defenses. And I think that's going to be his job. We'll see what a healthy Calvin Ridley can do. A guy that really, you got to give credit to Thomas Dimitroff and his staff. A guy that really is kind of surprised for the last couple of years has been Russell Gage. The receiver who went late out of LSU a couple of years ago, and he's been able to make some nice plays. It's just been inconsistency at times in terms of the drops and everything that comes with a receiver that you get in the late rounds. But it's definitely going to be that. The interesting thing is, Nate, is that Kyle Pitts, kind of like we've seen on the basketball side, because that was obviously a huge topic of conversation down here today with the way that Trae Young and the Hawks played last night,
right?
Is that Trae Young is always going to be compared to Luka Doncic, at least locally, because he's a local guy and fans badly wanted the future quarterback situation to kind of be cleared up. He's always going to be compared, Kyle Pitts, to Justin Fields and what happens with him in Chicago. So that's going to be interesting from that standpoint. But I do think that, them bringing in Kyle Pitts, at least for what they said they wanted to do, they wanted to go best player available. That's what they did over all 3 days of the draft. And outside of quarterbacks, he was definitely the best player that was available to them at number 4. And once they couldn't make a trade and they were stuck there at number 4, they decided to go with said player. And if all indications are correct, he could be a huge addition for this team.
By the way, he's going to be compared to Julio too. I mean, fairly or unfairly, we'll see how it plays out with Julio Jones. Great player for the Falcons, saying he's rolling out of Atlanta. We'll see what happens. Another name on the offseason that's intriguing in the NFL. Dan Matthews is on 680 The Fan Atlanta, on Twitter at Dan Matthews ATL. Dan, appreciate you coming on. Thanks a lot.
Hey, appreciate the time. Great catching up with you. And then, that's all we need in sports radio, right, is juicy headlines in the offseason of the NFL to keep us going.
We'll take it. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. Dan Matthews, good stuff. 680 The Fan in Atlanta here on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Julio Jones added to the mix now of another off-season name that could be with a new team. Okay, we got to get into this. Some of you are agreeing with me. Some of you are disagreeing. Not too many disagreeing on the Barons-Wilson text line, 720-1067. But should the National Federation of High School Associations, should they have mandated a shot clock in high school basketball? I never love one-size-fits-all in much. I don't. I just say that from my life in general. I think every part of the country is different, the whole thing. But sports need some consistency at the high school level across the board, and then as you get into the other levels of the sport, college and then pro for the very few that make it. But basketball and sports need some consistency with the rules. I think that would be one mandate I would be for. Well, it is. It is. National Federation of High School Associations voted that down, so all these states that aren't doing it aren't going to have to do it. But I think you just kind of push that along and say you just got to go down that road. I haven't heard from these other states that have done it. I mean, like here in South Dakota, I've talked to a lot of coaches in schools. They like the shot clock. Very few people dislike it. I'm not going to say nobody, but Very few people dislike it. That would be one mandate that the Federation High School Associations could, I think, get some popularity with. I do. What does Brian Henson think? Argus leader Sioux Falls. He's live next, and I got to talk to him about state track. State track here in the Black Hills this weekend. Is there an issue with state track meets being held in the Black Hills? Is there an issue? I think this is going to be a discussion. Brian Henson next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
At Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires and the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
It's Honda's Certified Dream Deal sales event. Up to an additional 2 years, 50,000 miles comprehensive warranty, plus certified Hondas come with 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, free oil changes your first year, and 24/7 roadside assistance. See Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda for all the certified details. At Denny Menholt Auto Group, we buy cars. Did you know that vehicles are in high demand? Due to limited inventory, your vehicle has never been worth more. Stop by any of our Rapid City Denny Menholt dealerships and either sell or trade today. Located off I-90 on East Mall Drive. Drive in today.
Have you suffered an injury, or maybe you're experiencing pain that just won't get better? There's an expert team of physicians right here in Rapid City ready to help you get back in the game. The Rehab Doctors. They're the official sports medicine physicians of the Rapid City Rush, and they're the team that wants to help you get back on track. You have a choice for your medical care, and there's no referral necessary. For pain relief without surgery, take the first step to feeling better. Just go to therehabdoctors.com.
Customer service and knowledge. You expect it, and we provide it. As a general insurance agency, Fisher Rounds & Associates has aligned itself with the nation's strongest carrier networks, giving you the highest quality coverage at the best possible price. When it comes to claims or other issues, we handle everything so you don't have to. That's what we mean when we say we're at your service and at your side. Fisher Rounds & Associates, proudly serving South Dakota with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Watertown.
You don't have to be a sports fan to know it's critical to build a strong team around you in business and in life. Strategy takes teamwork, and you need a trusted advisor on your roster. That's why I trust the experts at Cato Thorstensen. From tax, bookkeeping, payroll, QuickBooks to audit, valuation, and more. Trust the experts. Call the Cato Thorstensen team or visit ktllp.com. They're accepting new clients right now. Visit ktllp.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City. Glad you're here on a Monday, just getting your week started. If you missed parts of the show, the podcast will be available tonight. We'll upload it right after the show, and the archive of the Nate Brown Show also on YouTube. You can find us there. Saying hi to everybody listening on and watching on YouTube. Thanks for checking in. The Nate Brown Show. You can subscribe there. We'd appreciate that. Brian Henson in on a Monday. He's getting ready to cover the state track meet, which is here in the Black Hills, Friday and Saturday. Sturgis, great facility. Woodall Field, outstanding. Love that place. School of Mines, O'Hara Stadium, outstanding. Spearfish, Black Hills State, outstanding. All right, it's the combined track meet normally, but this year they're going to do 3 different locations. And then they're not going to combine it into that Saturday, which normally happens, which is a great day for track. So tough this year, but I usually love the state track meet getting combined. And really tough on media like Brian Henson. Is that correct, sir?
Oh, yeah. It's a nightmare scenario for day 2. I mean, you go, it is. It's a nightmare.
Do you like, hey, by the way, do you like the state track meet combined, though? Like, hey, boom, we put it all at O'Hara Stadium, all classes. That's a fun day.
Oh, absolutely.
it's honestly one of the coolest events of the year because everybody's there. The atmosphere and the energy is incredible, and just the caliber of athletes. I mean, year in, year out, it's so cool the way that it's run, and it's just awesome having everybody together. And it's going to be cool when they have them together, I think, starting next year for all 3 days at Howard Field together, where you're going to get that experience 3 days in a row. I mean, it's the marquee event of the spring. And the school year, you could even argue, it's right up there with state basketball, state volleyball, or basketball, football, and wrestling in terms of just the energy and the attention that it draws because everybody's there, everybody's together, and it's a really cool thing.
The story is, I believe they were looking at COVID and not knowing how it was going to play out. That's really why they kept it separate, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's just unfortunate. Honestly, it would have been nice personally, and I'm sure that logistically it just wouldn't have worked out, but it would have been cool if they just moved it to Howard Field for this year and let Rapid have it next year, just so you could get everybody in together for Rapid at Howard Field for the second day, excuse me. A little bit bigger stadium, maybe a cap attendance there, and it's a little easier to space people out, but from a media side, we'll figure it out, I guess. But it is unfortunate, especially this year when there's so many standout athletes and kids, who are going to do some special things like Carrington Jones and Kalen Vlander-Prue in Class B. That's going to be some incredible theater there. And a lot of the same stuff, in Class A, Class AA, there's the kid from Watertown, the thrower, who's, been chasing some big national marks and is going to Baylor to throw. And instead of getting everybody all together on that second day to watch you compete, you're kind of spread out and have to pick your poison and figure out what you want to do.
Double A's in Sturgis, A is in Spearfish, B is here in Rapid City at the School of Mines, O'Hara Stadium State Track this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Here's a legitimate thing I'm hearing. Memorial Day weekend out in the Black Hills, and I don't know if this is because people are COVID crazy and they're getting out and about and it's going to explode tourism and the whole thing, and I believe that, but hotel rooms availability is tough. Pricing, it's up there. There's some concerns, and people are discussing that, and I've been told it may be discussed again after we get done this week. And what that tells me, Brian, is you just mentioned, well, it'd be nice if it was at Howard Wood. Sioux Falls is getting 2 track meets. We're getting 1. I'm wondering if they're going to push all the time to get it. I'm wondering.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, you mentioned the hotels. They are nightmarishly high, man. I mean, they're bad. They're bad. And I didn't even realize that it was Memorial Day weekend.
Well, I mean, this is the Black Hills. This isn't Sioux Falls. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, because you got cool stuff to. You guys actually have scenery. I mean, nobody wants to come out here and look at fields.
I just spent a bunch of money out there. I was at a soccer tournament. I gave you guys all my money, and then you guys won't give us your money.
Thanks for saying hi, fella.
Okay.
Thanks for saying hi.
I'm too busy. I'm just too busy.
That's funny. Yeah, you're a big timer. I know. You don't have time for us little friends, folks.
By the way, do you think that could happen? Do you think? I mean, I've been told that people are kind of getting worried about the availability, some of the pricing, as busy as the Black Hills can get.
I think that too, and then also, I mean, just the schedule. If you're going to shift to 3 days at all one site, Howard Field is definitely the site to do that at. It's a bigger facility, you have the bigger parking lot. That sort of thing. So I think it makes sense from a facility standpoint. That's not necessarily a knock on Rapid City, but Howard Field is just such a cool facility for that type of event, and it seems better suited for it. And then, like you said, I mean, you factor in the tourism money, and what that does to hotel prices out there in the hills. And, I think that it honestly makes a lot of sense to move track out here.
I would like the current rotation. You guys get 2, we get 1. I still believe that works. I believe in kids going across the state and experiencing things and having a good time that way. So you just answered my question of the day. I think I said, here's the question. What should matter the most in choosing high school state event locations? I say quality of the facility, the city and the things to do and hotels, okay, or fan attendance numbers from the past. Like, a lot of fans at this event, you should keep it there. What matters the most to you?
I think it's probably facilities and fan attendance, 1, 2. Just because, facilities, again, it gets back to, do you want to be playing your state tournament in the Premier Center or the big, the new Rushmore Center that they're building out in Rapid City, or do you want to play it in Huron? And that's not a knock against Huron necessarily. It's just more you're going to be playing in a professional grade arena that hosts big-time concerts and all this thing and sort of brings that big game atmosphere, or the Pentagon, which was incredible this year. And I don't think we can say enough good things about how they hosted the state basketball tournaments because of what they have on hand there at the Pentagon. So I think that's really important. And then fan attendance. I mean, that's what makes these games so much fun, is the atmosphere. And if attendance historically is better at one side of the state than the other, I think it makes sense for that to happen. I'm not necessarily for it because I really like covering state basketball in Rapid City because I love going out west. But I think that it makes sense, and that should come in there too. And then also, though, I think circling back to state track, I kind of wonder where the city would fall on that in terms of tourism dollars. If they would rather have those hotels, and for the hotels too, if they would rather have those hotels freed up for the entire weekend where people can fly in, drive in to spend a weekend at the hills, or if they would rather have it for track families who maybe are just there for, Friday, Saturday, then they drive back Saturday night instead of staying through Sunday into Monday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, honestly, I know a lot of business folks here and a lot of the hotel folks. I don't know the answer to that. I said, I think we need to try and find an answer saying we want events like this, but it's also a concern with how busy this area can get. I mean, it's a major concern during the summer. That's why we don't have the State Legion baseball tournament. Sioux Falls got that the last couple of years. I mean, that's part of the reason. Now we're going to get some baseball stuff, but the hotels and the whole thing, they're part of the equation.
Yeah. I honestly, I wonder how much of a financial impact, like if they would be better off with just straight tourism dollars where you can, you're getting people staying for an entire weekend versus just a couple of days. I think that factors in too. But it'll be interesting, and this weekend is going to be an adventure.
Yeah, it'll be busy. I look forward. I mean, it's a great event. It's different this year because of 3 locations, day 1, and 3 locations, day 2. But we'll do a great job. Folks out here in leadership, athletic administration do a great job leading the event. So I'm going to ask you this. Last one, National Federation of High School Associations. They had the chance to vote on this, make it a mandate. I'm usually not for one size fits all. Everybody has to do the same thing, but in this case I am. They decided not to, but they said, we recommend that states go down that road and look at the basketball shot clock if they want, but they voted down the mandate. I think you just have to pull that trigger and say, you need consistency. All levels of basketball, all states, a shot clock. I don't know anybody that hates the shot clock once they put it in.
Yeah, it's funny. They can get these schools to pony out or ask them for money so that they can broadcast all these games on the NFHS site, but they can't force ask them to pony up and get shot clocks so the game's more universal and the quality of play improves. That's an interesting dynamic in my opinion.
So you're with me on that. I mean, I think they would get away. Most fans would want, shot clock in every state. I'm with that.
I would love to hear the argument against it because I can't think of anything. I think that financial reasons is kind of a baloney answer at this point, and I just don't understand it. Like, what's there to be gained by not having a shot clock? You just lead to bad things, all bad things, by not having that in there.
The only thing you said is baloney. Some of the small schools are going to say, even here in South Dakota, the Class B schools, say, hey, we don't have money for this. I mean, that was the initial discussion. We don't have operators for it. The money, the shot clock staff, initially that is a concern, but I sure think you would be able to push forward. Once you get it, you're good to go. It's not like a massive investment. It's significant.
I agree. Maybe that was overly callous on my part to poo-poo the financial aspects of it.
Small schools, especially. Small schools.
Sure. I think there's a way, and if you're the NFHS or some of these state-run organizations, maybe there's a way to help them figure that out,
right,
be it fundraising or whatever. I mean, there's ways to get it done, and I don't know. I've yet to hear a compelling argument against it beyond the money thing, which, again, I think we can lay out ways to get around that.
I think they could have got away with a national mandate, I think, but they voted that down. It sounds like they want states to take a look at it. We'll see if more states jump on board. South Dakota, one of the states leading the way with a high school basketball shot clock. Brian Henchen on tonight, ArgusLeader.com for the coverage. He wrote a great piece on the state track meet preview today. Brian, always good, man. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely, buddy. Talk to you later.
Appreciate it. Brian Henchen, Sioux Falls Argus Leader tonight on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. South Dakota high school sports writer for the Argus Leader. Who's hot and who's not is next. You know that intra-conference transfer rule? You can go from one school to the other in conference. We see our first deal, and it's 2 massive schools on the way.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
At Ace Steel and Recycling in Rapid City, our goal is to make recycling your materials so quick, so easy, and so profitable that you'll become a lifetime recycler. At Ace Steel and Recycling, we buy, process, and ship scrap iron, automobiles, stainless steel, and aluminum, including cans and cast. We also buy insulated wiring, as well as copper, brass, lead, batteries, zinc, and tungsten carbide. Visit acesteelusa.com or give us a call at 342-8649. Ace Steel and Recycling, 2830 Eglin Street, Rapid City.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we owe a debt of gratitude to our Swedish friends for bringing the buffet to America in 1939. Unfortunately, they called it the smorgasbord, which is, let's just say, a unique word. But we liked the idea so much, we started our own buffet and loaded it up with pizza, chicken, sides, salads, and our one-of-a-kind cactus bread. And then we made it even better by letting you request the pizza you want on the buffet every time you visit. We call it Buffet Your Way, because smorgasbord your way, well, it doesn't rhyme at all. Pizza Ranch. Mmm.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, let's wrap it up on a Monday, huh? Thanks for listening on Fox Sports Rapid City. Hope you've had a solid Monday. We'll be back ready to roll tomorrow at 4 on Fox Sports Rapid City, your sports, your show. National, regional, local guests from across the board. If you missed today's show, the podcast will be up shortly, the Nate Brown Show podcast, where you get your podcast. Who's hot and who's not tonight? Wrapping it up. Who's hot and who's not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, where dinner is served tonight. The buffet's open till 8. They're open 11 to 8 daily. The buffet is the best buffet in Rapid City. 2 locations. The Pizza Ranch. In my Who's Hot category, I'll go with this. I love high school hoops. Yes, I love high school hoops. The National Interscholastic Basketball Conference is brand new. This has just been created. 6 of the biggest high school basketball powerhouses in the country are going to form a new national league. So they're going to be playing against each other. This is kind of like, hey, a state championship and then now a national championship. We have all these national championships. Oh, we won this one and won that one. This looks to be a real deal scenario. They're going to have 8 teams playing a 10-game regular season against each other and then the postseason tournament. There are plans to expand the league in the coming years with more elite high school basketball teams. I'm okay with it. If they can find a way to make it work financially and the whole thing, I'm okay with actual, real powerhouse basketball programs in a real league playing each other instead of just a one-off here or there and trying to figure out who's who. I'm with it. 8 elite high school basketball teams forming a new national league for a new postseason tournament. They're going to start it next year. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, the SEC hasn't officially approved the intra-conference transfer rule where you can go from one school to the next, but they're more than likely getting ready to, and we see our first plan here. I told you, here it goes. Former LSU starting quarterback TJ Finley announced this morning he's going to go play at Auburn. I mean, this is what you're going to see. Auburn to LSU, LSU to Auburn, Georgia to Alabama. Oh, here we go. TJ Finley started at LSU, then he got beat out. Now he said, I'm not going to go back there and compete. I'm going to go over to Auburn, see if I can beat LSU. This is the deal. I mean, I'm okay with a one-time transfer, but get ready. Some Wild West scenarios in conference transfers and LSU to Auburn. Boy, that'll be interesting. Coming right back tomorrow at 4, the Nate Brown Show.